Assalaamu alaikum. So this video has been kind of long waited for me and for several other sisters who asked me about the Afghan Burqa and where they could get it and things like that. So first I'm going to tell you just a little bit more about it because I think it's kind of misunderstood. So the Afghan Burqa is a one-piece garment. It's got like a hat that sits on your head, has a grill that covers your eyes, and then in the front is a shorter piece of cloth that is generally flat, while around there is longer cloth that goes to the floor that's generally pleated like this. Most people, when they think of the burqa, they think the blue one that, is really iconic of Afghanistan. When we were in, when there was the war in Afghanistan, in the United States and all around the world, they posted up lots of pictures of women in, the blue burqa that the Taliban enforced outside of the home. And I think that's where a lot of the misconception comes in. So the burqa itself existed well before the Taliban existed and was a custom in Afghanistan and in other regions before Afghanistan. I mean, not before Afghanistan, before the Taliban. Sorry for misspeaking. So the fact it's called burqa just means face veil. It's also called like chadri or chadari or paranja in some areas. In Pakistan, it's called topi. The hat that's on top is also called topi. It just means hat. And so the term has also been kind of moved over and used for the burqa, so it's called topi in Pakistan, and in some other areas that use the same kind of speech. It comes in multiple different colors. Obviously, I'm wearing a purple one right now. In Afghanistan, lately, the largest one obviously has been blue, but other colors were seen and are seen. In northern Afghanistan, a lot of people wore white burqa. That's, from my understanding, also what's most prevalent in Pakistan. Whenever I was doing some of the research on it, I've seen pictures saying that, new brides also wore white burqas. Certain areas, burgundy is a prevalent color, or purple, some of them yellow. Like a golden yellow, kind of like my curtains back there. So they come in a lot of different colors. And basically what they are is they're just something that's worn outside of the home to cover up your clothing and your face and hide the shape of your body, just like most, lots of Muslim women wear, like abaya or jilbab to hide the shape of their body. And then in other countries like Iran, they wear chador, and that, you hold closed in the front, just like with the burqa, except it doesn't cover the face. And so we've been seeing these kinds of coverings for centuries within that area, and it's really not unique to specifically Afghanistan, the type of covering exactly. And it's definitely not unique to the kind of Taliban era in Afghanistan that people connect it to. Because it definitely did exist well before that, and people wore it well before that. Now in Afghanistan, I had a sister come on my last video, and they were like, well, I have a friend who grew up in Kabul, and she said that people don't wear burqa there anymore. Well, Kabul is a very large city. In larger, more industrialized cities, after the Taliban regime ended, many people did take off the burqa because they were forced to wear it. Just like, in Iran, women are mandated and have to wear hijab. But at the same time, in other areas, there are women, lots of women, who prefer to wear burqa. I have a friend, she is Pashtun, and all of her family wears burqa. She prefers not to wear it when she's in Afghanistan, so instead she wears niqab. And she said where they live, everybody wears burqa, or very few people wear niqab, but women don't go out in the market or anything like that just in hijab because you get stared at. It's out of place. It's just not how things are done. Just like in Yemen, I mentioned in a previous video, Muslims and non-Muslims wear niqab. It's the culture of the area. So absolutely, yes, women were forced to wear burqa during the Taliban regime. But there are still plenty of women out there who prefer to wear burqa. They feel more comfortable in it. Or they just find it beautiful. So that's why I kind of set out to try and get an Afghan burqa or a topi, because I, as you've seen in my Get Ready With Me videos, I'm trying to do kind of a survey of cultural hijab and niqab across the world. And this is something that is so misunderstood, to the point that, people immediately associate it with terrorism. And I needed to know for myself what it was like to wear one, and how I personally felt about it after trying it, instead of just having my own, bias behind it based on, things I had heard from years in the military, or, the general idea that people have that it's a symbol of oppression regardless of if somebody decides to wear it or not, which, that doesn't stand for clothing in general or hijab. We don't tell a woman that, she's oppressed because she's wearing clothing, even though that's something that men say to cover her up. So, at the same time, if a woman decides to wear burqa, then we shouldn't just automatically assume that, she's being forced to do it, or that she's part of the systematic oppression of women because she's choosing to wear it and finds it beautiful. So, my search for one was very, very long. First, I kind of been looking around, and there are, several places that have, really Western-friendly burqas. I say that because, they have really bright colors. So like this purple, hot pink, different colors like that. There are several different websites that sell those. So there's at least one in the United States. It's Zarenas.com. There's one based in Germany, two based in Germany, I think, that I'll link below, both their Etsy and their actual website, and possibly their eBay. It's called like orientalbazaar.de, I think. They sell these burqas that are, they are bright colors, they're kind of shiny, and then you find, and it's much harder to find, are the ones that are actually like what a woman in Afghanistan would wear. These colors are generally more muted, or you only get blue. It's made from a different material that isn't as shiny generally. And these are a little bit more harder to find, but I have found them on eBay and at another website, which I will share with you guys, of course. So I asked my friend, I was like, hey, I'm looking at burqas online. I know that you are in Afghanistan right now visiting your family and, doing some charitable work. So would you be willing to send me a burqa? Because online, the ones I was finding, it was $100. And for something that, in Afghanistan, almost every woman and child, wore it. If not, now in certain areas like Kabul or other large cities, at one point it was extremely prevalent even in those cities. So this is something that should not be costing $100. You know, that just seemed absurd to me. So my friend said, of course she would send me one. And she, I thought that, burqas were just kind of like a one size item. But she actually asked me for my height to get me the correct size one. Her family made her ask that. Because you do see children in niqabs, or not niqabs, I'm sorry, in children in burqa, because they practice wearing it so they can get used to it, and play wearing it, just like little girls play wearing their mom's clothes or play, wearing hijab before they have to wear it. But so she and her family tried to send it to me, and I swear they tried to send it three or four times. And for some reason I just never got it. The first time they sent it to me, she thinks that maybe someone put my address wrong. So it got sent back to them. She had sent it from the UK, I think. And then she sent it again. And I think it's been sent from the UK twice and from Afghanistan once or twice, and I still haven't received it. It's really bizarre. We don't know what's going on. So I feel really bad, and I let her know this. I feel really bad because they had to pay that shipping, and it just never arrived. So I had been trying for a very long time to find one and to get one, and it wasn't happening. It wasn't happening because I was, we were waiting for months, like constantly talking with the mail carrier and being like, hey, what's going on? There was months of this with me and my friend Aisha. We're both just sitting there like calling the, she's calling the UK post. Hey, why has my friend's package not reached her yet? What's going on? So, one day I was browsing eBay again because I just look at them and other traditional coverings that sometimes people just have on eBay. And I found this one, for $12. So, this is the one that, on various different websites, it was $80 plus shipping and tax, $100 plus shipping and tax, and I was like, okay, look, obviously this is a sign, it's in the United States, shipping is really cheap, it's $12, I'm just gonna get it. So, alhamdulillah, I bought it, and I received it right before Ramadan, I believe, either right before Ramadan or right at the beginning of Ramadan. And I, decided, I was like, I'm going to try and wear it. I have to wear it outside, see how I feel in the heat with it, if it's breathable, how comfortable it is. And mashallah, it was really hot during Ramadan this year, and I wore it outside to like read Quran outside, and it kept me cool. Despite the fact that it's like a kind of fancy, like shiny material, it's very, very breathable. It's actually very light on my head. This one is. And every time that I wore it out, I got nothing but compliments. Like, mashallah, seriously, nothing but compliments. No one said anything rude to me. No one like looked at me rude. People only complimented me on the burqa and the color of it. You know, they thought it was beautiful. They said I looked really cute. Like, just, you know, I had so many, I had like, gosh, the first time I wore it out, you know, I got complimented at the food restaurant that we went to. Well, it was not a restaurant, it was Taco Bell. But, you know, I got complimented there. I got complimented at the thrift store, I think. You know, I went out to get some sandwiches with my husband, and the person working at Subway actually was Afghan, and complimented me and was like, where did you get that? It's a beautiful color, you know, and was talking to us about how, you know, he had moved here from Afghanistan and things like that. And it was just really amazing. And we were all shocked because we thought that, you know, of course we thought that people would harass me. You know, when I go out in niqab, people stare at me, you know, or some people say things that are rude, but subhanAllah, you know, when I went out in this burqa for, you know, the first few times, no one was rude ever. It was amazing. We were all kind of blown away. You know, one of our housemates, he was also in the military, and he is willing to like go out of the house with me in almost anything, you know, but you know, right now he absolutely cannot go out of the house with me if I'm in a burqa because of his experiences when he was in the military, you know, and he has that PTSD about it. So obviously I try to be cognizant of that. So I'm not, you know, I don't wear it to like when I go to the VA for treatment, just in case, you know, there's somebody that has PTSD, you know, connected with a woman wearing an Afghan burqa, you know, which is pretty prevalent in our veteran community right now. But the fact that like I have not gotten any kind of insults in it in real life, you know, not counting like the ones on the internet on my last post, you know, I think that's just amazing. I actually really liked it. I like wearing it because it's just so easy. So, you know, whenever I have to go run an errand or go to the grocery store or something, you know, I'm always losing my niqabs. Like right now, like I have no clue. I was gonna wear, today is Yom Kippur, and it's the 9th of Muharram, and so, you know, Jews and Muslims are fasting today, and in Judaism and Orthodox Judaism, you wear white on Yom Kippur. And so today I'm wearing white because of the fact that I am a Jew, even if I'm Muslim. And I have a white niqab, and I have no clue where it is. Like, most of my black niqabs right now, I don't know where they are. Like, I'm doing laundry and hoping frantically that I'm going to find all of my niqabs because I don't know where I put them, you know. So, you know, if you go to leave the house, you know, you have to find a scarf, you have to find an abaya, you have to find the niqab, and it's so much easier to just find your burqa and throw it on, and then you have everything. And so I really, really liked it for that reason. It's just so simple, and I'm kind of lazy. So I think that's kind of all of really why I liked it. And kind of, I guess, some background info on it. So I'm going to talk about the burqas that I have themselves. Okay, so I'm going to stand up. Okay, so this is the one that I got on eBay for $12, and I'm pretty sure that it's the same kind of like tourist burqa that you can get from the websites that like Zarina's, or like the ones from like the German the various German stores that I have found on eBay and Etsy and things like that. It looks the same as the one in their picture. So it's a kind of like cheap material. You can see the shininess of it. It's kind of like what we would consider like costume material, or like a Halloween costume, like something like that. But you know, because of the fact that it is a, you know, a cheap kind of costume material, it's really lightweight, and it's really breathable. So that's a really big plus on it. The, you know, the person that I got it from, there's a small hole, I think, yeah, right here. That was the only defect on it. I like the kind of like wider eye shape that's on this. And then the in the grill kind of area itself, and in the like niqab portion that covers your face, the only thing that bothers me a lot is they do something, I forget what my friend calls it, but it's when you're stitching and you don't stop, you just move the fabric and start again, and so you get like a string of thread that goes kind of around, and so there's like loose thread around, which to me is bothersome and annoying. So I actually had to cut some of it out, because, which, you know, it doesn't damage it at all, but I just couldn't deal with having random strings on my face constantly. When you're wearing it, you'll see I don't have like a bun in. I found that it's easiest to wear it if you have your hair in a braid or like a ponytail, like a low ponytail. You know, there are people out there who wear it with a bun, and that's fine. I think it looks a little bit weird, but like for the next burqa that I'm going to put on, it might be useful to, like, if your burqa is too long or something like that. The only downside kind of with this one, other than the strings, is it's not really one size. So I'm very petite. I've always said this. I'm about child size of a 12, 14-year-old girl. And, you know, you could see when I stood up and showed you guys, when I close it in the front, which is, you know, how you're supposed to walk with it, it's closed. It closes around me in a very kind of slim silhouette. So like my co-wife, I had her try it on because she's, you know, average sized. And on her, you know, not only was the burqa not long enough for me, it doesn't touch the ground, which is fine for me. But for her, it really didn't touch the ground, and it didn't really close around her properly. It looked awkward, and just was not a good fit. So if you're looking to get one of these with, you know, the kind of lighter material, you know, brighter color burqas, you need to be aware of the fact that that could be an issue, and maybe talk to the seller and see what they say. You know, inshallah, they are knowledgeable of what they have in their store and can answer your questions. Okay, so I'm going to put on the other one. Okay. So, just briefly, as you can see on this, obviously it's much better made. The detailing, the embroidery is just beautiful. The colors, the contrast colors is gorgeous. The grill itself is kind of more narrow, but it's also a little longer. And the hat portion fits more snugly on my head. Okay, I'm going to stand up and show you. So you can see there's a lot more fabric with this one. So there's a lot more fabric with this. Sorry, I'm sitting on the floor, so I'm having some circulation issues. So there's, as I said, there's a lot more fabric. The fabric is heavier. You can kind of see. So it's not that, it's a similar fabric. It's a similar fabric to the purple one, right? But it's not quite as shiny. And it's a little bit more, it's a little bit thicker, and it's got a more of a non-cheap feel. I don't know how else to put that. I'm sorry. So this one I purchased when I did my order from Naz Boutique. So Naz Boutique is located in Pakistan and Afghanistan. There's two brothers, they work together. And one of them is in Pakistan and one is in Afghanistan. So, you know, I asked for a blue burqa. I didn't realize that I was going to be getting one that was such a like royal blue. I thought that I would be getting the kind of iconic one that you see in all the pictures where it's like a pale blue. So I had this whole plan in my head since I, you know, had asked my friend to get me one, that I was going to, you know, do this video and I was going to do kind of a photo shoot with it. And then I was probably going to dye it a different color because I don't really like blue all that much. But the richness of this blue, I really actually really like it. So I don't think I'm going to dye it. It's really, really well made. You know, as I already showed you with the detailing, there are less issues with the like strings on the niqab portion. I think because there's more fabric, so it kind of pulls away from your face more, but it's still there, so you know, you can cut them out if you need to. I will say that, you know, it's heavier. The entire thing is heavier, enough that the first time I put it on, I kind of had a headache. Now, keep in mind, you know, I am disabled, and so for me to say something is heavy, it's, you know, for a normal person, it's probably not going to feel heavy for you. It's just that, you know, due to the things going on in my life, you know, I haven't been able to wear heavier fabrics and heavier clothing. But we're working on that. This one is very long. It touches the ground. The only way that I've been able to get it to not touch the ground is if I am wearing high heels. And that's something that, you know, most people are going to be like, oh, you can't wear high heels with burqa, you know, whatever. I did it because literally I didn't want to trip and fall. Like I said, I'm disabled. So, I have the ability now, alhamdulillah, to wear heels and like wedges and things like that, without falling and without being unstable, but I still trip on things very easily. So for it to be so long, you know, the day that I wore the heels, I had been with my co-wife at a hotel and we were checking out. And so it was like, you know, I was tired and I was carrying all kinds of stuff. And for me to have to walk to the car, you know, go down the elevator, go check out, go to the car, carrying all of this stuff while wearing, you know, a burqa that's very long, it just wouldn't have been safe. So I threw on heels and alhamdulillah, it worked. The fabric itself, because it's heavier, is a little bit warmer than the purple one. But like I said, I love this one. You know, I like both of them, but you know, this one is just so much more well made. I will say that, you know, if it's too long, it does drag the ground, so you'll get some dirt on it. And if you have any kind of pets that, you know, don't know to not pull your clothes down, sometimes, you know, the seam could rip. Which side is it? It's this one. So that actually happened to me, but alhamdulillah, it's an easy fix. But, you know, we have dogs and our new puppy really, really, really loves this burqa. I don't know why. But, you know, from the moment that I got it, I took video of it for a friend of mine, and you know, and my puppy just like went and laid right down underneath the burqa, so she could like be covered with it. And so, you know, the other day she, you know, pulled it down off of a chair, and I think that's probably what happened. But, you know, alhamdulillah, I know how to use a sewing machine, and I know plenty of people with sewing machines, and I can hand sew. So, easy fix, not a problem. Now here's the really, really good thing about this burqa. It was $30. The other ones, like I said, they're like $80, $100, and that's before shipping, you know, and everywhere but Zarina's, it's going to be, you know, international shipping, so it's going to be $30 shipping on top of everything else. So rather than paying $100, $130 for a cheap fabric burqa, I paid $60 to get a beautiful one that, you know, a normal woman in Afghanistan would wear, and it's absolutely gorgeous and completely well made. And I think that that is just amazing. So, you know, of course, I will give information for Naz Boutique on there. Now, there are other sellers out there who sell Afghan burqa. The only ones that I have been able to find that sell authentic Afghan burqas, not the like touristy ones, other than Naz Boutique, which they're on Instagram, I've only been able to find them on eBay. And I can't tell you exactly how good they are. So there's one seller that is on eBay off and on. Let me pull up his information. His name is Fast Shipper 2004. And I'll show you the picture because it looks like it's kind of a thinner silhouette burqa, or it could just be on a normal size person. But it's also showing the person wearing a burqa with a bun. So, you know, you get this information. It's Fast Shipper 2004. So he sells multiple different colors. So that one was purple. He's had like a dark forest green before, black, blue, of course, white. And then there are other ones on there. You can just search Afghan burqa or burqa topi, and you'll get several different sellers from Pakistan selling burqas for around $46, and or maybe like $50, $55, depending on the seller. One is if you search like Afghan burqa, then it will come up, and that's like the 50, I think it's at like, hold on, let me pull it up. Okay. So so there's one right now, shipping from Pakistan. It's $66. My apologies on getting that wrong. And they have, lighter colors. They have like browns, nudes. They have black, which a lot of people like. And then the other seller, that if you search Burqa Topi, they come up, and it's, $49. There's another one that's $46 that ships from Pakistan as well. The ones that ship from Pakistan, they don't appear to have the pleating in it. They're just kind of straight fabric. So if that's something that you like, go ahead. Just be aware of that. It's not going to look the same as the ones you're used to. But, these sellers from Pakistan, they are selling colors that, we don't have access to generally otherwise. When I was talking with one of the brothers that runs Naz Boutique, he said, they only have access to blue burqas because, the other colors are only available in certain areas of Afghanistan or Pakistan. And so they're like really specific to one community kind of thing. And so blue is the easiest to get. So if you want a different color, and you want a different color in the more kind of traditional fabric and style, eBay is a really good place to go. You're going to pay a little bit more, and you may not get the pleating on it, but you'll get a different color and have something maybe a little bit more unique out there. So, alhamdulillah, that is it. If you go on eBay, I'm kind of scrolling through right now, and you'll see some, like, there's a seller in the UK right now selling burqas for $52. It's the same kind of fabric as my purple burqa. It looks like the shiny fabrics in different colors, so that might be if you wanted a brighter color. You could go and look on eBay, and you'll be able to find it for cheaper than if you bought from the German website, or you bought from Etsy, or something like that. And yeah, so inshallah, I've helped you guys. I had so many sisters asking me about Afghan Burqa, where to buy it, so alhamdulillah, I'm so glad to give you guys so many different options on where to buy it. Whether you get, just you spend, $30 with Naz Boutique and get a blue one, or whether you decide to, you want one of the shiny fabric ones in bright pink, I'd love to be able to give you guys those options, and try something that you think is beautiful. It doesn't matter what other people say. If you find something beautiful, then you should be able to wear it. And if you find covering and modesty beautiful, if you find niqab beautiful, if you find burqa beautiful, then there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to get it and be able to wear it in whatever color you want. So just go out there, get it, have fun. Yeah. So, alhamdulillah, I'm so glad I finally got to do this video, you guys. You don't even know. Oh, one more thing about eBay is I did see today a yellow one with some damage, for $6. So if you're looking for one and you want one of the like shiny fabric ones that cost more, you know, every once in a while, check eBay. Um, you know, even if you don't like buy from the one on there that's cheaper, you know, and it's like $50 instead of like $100, you know, you might be able to find one on there for $12 like I did, or like $6 for that yellow one. You know, it's subhanAllah, it's just amazing, like the kinds of things that you can find if you know where to look. And so I'm really glad to be able to tell you guys where to look for these things. So what I'm gonna do, there's so many links to give you guys. Please, 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 down below, I'm gonna give you one link. It's gonna be to my blog. I'm going to do a full blog post on this with tons of pictures, and I'm gonna give you all the links in one place. Inshallah, it'll be helpful for you guys. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're fasting today, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your fast. And yeah. Ma salama.